To the west of Carlsbad, where mining operations are in progress, commercial potash beds are located in the upper 500 feet. The protective cover of sand, clay, and anhydrite is about 400 feet thick. So mining potash here carries us down to depths of 800 to 900 feet, where a Joy 7B shortwall type undercutter is moved up to the face on a Joy T1 self-propelled cat-mounted truck. While the operator prepares to unload the undercutter, a helper drills shallow holes in the floor at the face with an electric handheld drill for steel anchoring pins. These pins anchor the feed ropes of the undercutter firmly, so the feed drums on the machine can unload, position, and pull the machine across the face for undercutting the potash ore. Potash, because of its hardness, presents a cutting problem. But the cutter bar is provided with a massive cutter chain moving at a high rate of speed and containing lugs in which are set cutter bits with inserts of tungsten carbide, one of the hardest materials known to science today. Carbide bits make the job an easy one, for the machine cuts a 6-inch kerf to a depth of 8 1/2 feet in the potash at the rate of 6 inches a minute. And when the undercut is complete, the machine is moved away from the face through a pile of cuttings to the truck, where the undercutter will be loaded under its own power. While the short-wall type of cutting machine is in general use today in the potash fields, there are some conditions where excellent results are obtained from the universal type, like the Joy 10RU. In an adjacent potash mine, operated by the Potash Company of America, this model is at work, a machine with great cutting capacity to match the high production which comes with trackless mining. All tramming and cutting operations are under hydraulic control, ensuring fast, safe positioning of boom and bar at all times. Self-propelled and mounted on rubber tires, the 10RU is easy to operate from the operator's control station at the center of the Joy undercutter. Dual controls located on either side of the machine and labeled and grouped by function make for unsurpassed efficiency. These are advantages which make it easier to train new men to get results and, of course, provide faster operation for experienced miners. Not only can the 10RU cut horizontally from 7 inches below the floor level to 7 1/2 feet above bottom, but its universal characteristics make it adaptable for shearing. Now, of course, potash mining practice doesn't ordinarily include making shear cuts, since maximum shattering of the material is desired. But the 10RU shows its versatility in this particular instance, as its cutter bar is turned 90 degrees for a test shear cut. Here is a machine which reduces manual labor and inoperative time to a minimum, showing what it can do in formations as hard as potash salts. When this particular formation was in the making, the sea was heavy with salts of many kinds. As the waters lapped the shores of the land at this point, the hot, dry climate made evaporation excessive. Wafer-thin layers of mineral salts built up as millions of years passed, eventually forming limestone reefs in the shape of a deep-sinking basin. Additional seawater found its way into this basin. The sun's rays beat down hot and relentlessly, and evaporation continued until the basin was filled with potash salts and held against the day when it would be found and turned to benefit of man. And man probed deep to find it, and more important, found a way to mine it for his use. First by hand, and now cheaply and easily by a modern mechanized giant. Back at International, this giant, the Joy 11BU loader, moves into a blasted fall of material which was shot down after being undermined by a horizontal cut. Following close behind is the Joy cable reel type shuttle car, able to handle between 12 and 14 tons per load. It seems to be an integral part of the loader, always right behind it, always in position under the loading boom. It takes a heavy-duty machine like the 11BU to prove itself in operations like these. Its rugged gathering mechanism means the difference between average production and top tonnage. Every part of the sturdy joint, even the passing of two shuttle cars in a main haulage way without interfering with each other, is made easy. Cable reels are located on the right side of one car and on the left side of the other, preventing any tangling of the electric cables which feed their power. And the operator of each loaded shuttle car, arriving at the transfer point, saves seconds and keeps production figures high by starting the potash tumbling almost before he brings his car to a stop. From shuttle car to elevating conveyor and up into waiting mine cars, the flow of potash is regulated by remote control. For the elevating conveyor operator can vary the rate of discharge from any point where he can keep tab on the whole operation. And varying control is also available on the shuttle car control panel. Nothing like the hand mining methods used at the start of this field, when International Minerals and Chemical Corporation taking them out of the ground in this fashion, transporting them and processing them for the consumer, provide about 2/3 of the wealth of our country and keep between 1/2 and 2/3 of our population busy. United States. Transition is made from the cable reel to trolley very easily. The cable connector is automatically unhooked, and the operator hoists his trolley to the power line while in motion. So without a moment's hesitation, the journey is continuous, and the potash on this level of the mine, instead of discharging into an elevating conveyor, is dumped into a chute through a grizzly, passing into a storage bin cut from the solid rock between the 800 and 900-foot levels. From there, it will be drawn off on the 900-foot level haulage way for transporting to the shaft in mine cars.